For this video, we're going to create this part. This part has a lot more fillets on it again, the slot, um, some tangent arcs that we're going to create, and I'm going to show you how to mirror this. So to get started, again, we want to figure out what it kind of looks like. And because this is symmetrical, I'm just going to make half of it. I'm not going to do both sides. I'm going to show you how to make a mirror. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of imagine if we were looking at this from the back, and we're going to create this shape here. Okay, so we're going to create like a L with this rounded surface at the top. So I've already opened up a metric part. I'm going to use my XY plane this time, and I'm going to just draw an L. So again, making sure that everything is perpendicular and parallel, vertical, horizontal, etc. So I've drawn my L. So I've got a height of 16, okay, or sorry, 18 here. So we're going to use that height. So we'll go back over here to Inventor, dimension, right, 18. Now notice I'm not doing the whole height because I'm going to add this arc in a minute. Okay, that's on here. Okay, and then the next thing that I need, right? So I got a couple other things, is I need to know kind of how far it is to the middle. So this whole thing is 40 millimeters wide. So I'm going to go 20 to the middle. Okay, I've got a thickness down here of 6, which is kind of how this comes in here. So dimension of 6. And now I got to draw my circle. Okay, so this is very common where we have an arc that goes right into a vertical feature. This is a tangent feature. So I'm going to create a circle. And the easiest way to do it is put it on the middle and then grab the edge. And you'll notice this little thing that shows up above my mouse is the tangent constraint. If I didn't do that, I can hit tangent, circle to the line. Okay, so that's going to create that. Alternatively, if I wanted to not have this bottom part down here, I can create an arc. There's a couple different kinds. There is a tangent arc, but that kind of is gonna, if I did a tangent arc, it wants to know where my starting point is, my ending point is, and see how it's kind of like goofy here. So I really like that. 3-point arc we can do, we can click here, it goes to there. We can kind of go like this, and then we can use our tangent to bring it in. Right? So a couple different ways we can do it. All of them are going to get us the same result. So we're going to leave it like that. So we now need to figure out how big that is. So when we're looking at what's going on here, kind of looking for radiuses. So I've got a 2R5 right here, which is probably these two. I've got a 2 diameter of 5. That's the holes in the middle. 2R5. So that's those two. 2R6 here. Okay, 2R 2.5. That's in the slot. And I don't have any other radiuses around here. Okay, so now we got to figure out what else can we look at. Well, we see that they've kind of dimensioned it a little bit weird. It's 40 all the way. It's 30 between the center points and 20 between these two vertical features. So I'm going to take this 30 between the center points. That means the middle is half of that. So from the center point to this line, right, is 15. I don't have to add the 20, right, which would be 10 because it's already there. Okay, so I've got that. There's my shape. With this one, I could choose to put the hole in as a circle right now. Just line it up, put it on there, dimension that to 5, or we could do it later. So we'll finish that sketch. Extrude. Kind of wants to know what. So we'll click on those couple features. Has a thickness of 6, and there's half the part. Now we're going to add some more before we go through and mirror it. We don't want to just mirror this. So what we're going to do next is add part of this feature that's coming up from the bottom. I'm going to rotate this around and put a sketch on the bottom. Okay. And I'm going to just draw a rectangle because again, the fillets and the rounds will add afterwards. So I'm going to add a rectangle that, right, comes from the edge and goes over to here. So that 27 is going to be my number when I get there. All right. So I've rotated. Right. So I've rotated this down like that. Right. So this is where I'm kind of looking at. So now I'm going to go like this. And we can see kind of what I'm doing. Right. And so the whole thing all the way across is 27. So to the middle, if you can't do it in your head, we can do 27 divided by 2. And then that sticks out 12. And we'll finish our sketch. Extrude that. All right, comes right into the surface. We might have remembered from before that it was 6, and that's already there. But I'll show you another way to do it. We can go 2, face, and then it will bring us there. Okay, so if I had done something else and I didn't have that 6 in there, maybe I closed this, came back to it, I can extrude, right? And then go to 2 and then click on that face. And then that kind of joins them together. All right, so now I'm going to do the slot afterwards because as we saw in how we do the slot, it'll do the whole thing. I don't want to do half of it. So now I'm going to start adding the roundovers. Okay, so my fillets, I've got a couple that are at 5 millimeters. So I've got one there and one there. Notice I don't have to spin it around. I kind of know where it is and it'll find it. And we'll hit OK. And then I have a fillet here of 6. So we've created half of this, okay? So now I'm going to mirror this. And so let me bring this out a little bit larger so you can see, right? In my pattern menu, we'll get into some of these later, but I have a mirror pattern. So I am going to mirror the entire part. So when I click on that, it highlights my whole part. You can mirror just certain features. We're going to mirror the whole part. We'll click mirror plane, which is this. And poof, it makes the 2 sides. All right. So we've got those 2 sides. So that's kind of nice. All right. If we want to go back and make any changes, we can make changes to one side. We don't have to then make changes to the other, and our mirror will always work. All right. So then I'm just going to finish this up with a slot like we did earlier. Get that center to center slot. That's the most common. We'll drop that in there. Add a dimension. All right, I'm going to buzz through this because if you watched the previous video, you should already know what you are doing. So this is a radius of 2.5. And then again, we don't have any other dimensions, so it looks like it's right in the middle. So we're going to add a vertical constraint from the middle to the middle. And then we're going to add a horizontal constraint, which I don't think it's going to give me that because I've now changed this, so I can't put it that way. So I'm going to have to figure out my dimension. So this whole thing is 12. They're not giving us any other dimensions of where it's located. So it's going to be right in the middle. So this to either that edge or that edge, doesn't matter. It's going to be 6, right in the middle. Finish your sketch. Extrude, cut, all. Done. Save as 265.